Scarlet Witch is strong. Dope. Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another third-party action figure review on the Transformers Not Astrotrain. This is the DX9 Chigurh. If you try to pick this up, you can get it.
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
The text on this is very funny. I mean, it's just very funny looking, but it's just written kind of funny. Like, for instance, it says, Triple Chancer, Rise of the Empire. I think that's great. And then at the bottom over here, it says, jettison some weight or we will never make it to Digital Star. Chigurh. And then on the side over here, you can see some images of all three modes because it's supposed to be a triple changer. And then on the back, it says DX9, Inner Dream, Eternal Hobby. I dare to all that may become a man. Who dares more is none. And what the heck? And then all these other phrases over here just are awesome. It says, pierce through the space, more air nozzle, cargo, billion gigawatt power, superpower, more lasting endurance, oink, steam locomotive, oink, metal wheels. And then on the other side, we get this grid right over here again, and then on the top it says honor, pride, victory, join the empire. All right, what the hell? And then on the bottom it's just got a warning. All right, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's Chigurh out of the packaging in a very cool looking trade mode. Now the figure does show up in train mode over here, and you do get the three modes. You get the shuttle mode and the robot mode. The robot mode's my favorite, just very solid looking, a really cool looking piece. And this figure is a bit complex, not super difficult, but it is complex, but very solid, especially for a triple changer. And it comes with some of the little extra bits that we get with our Masterpiece figures. You can see this design right over here is very similar to Masterpiece. You can see all three modes right there, some specs. He also comes with this instruction booklet, again looking very Masterpiece-esque, and very nice instructions too. I like how you can stand it up while you're transforming it. Then we get this product sheet over here. You can see Chigurh invisible. Ugh, I hate that guy. And it has this comic right here where Blitzwing and Astrotrain get punked by Mirage. So like I said, I really like Chigurh's train mode. I guess if I were to talk about a couple of nitpicks, and they're very minor things, I do see the shuttle right here. These do look like headlights for the train, but it is kind of like a shuttle. So, you know, that kind of sticks out, and I kind of wish we had like the steam smokestack thing right here up at the top. But other than that, I just think this is a beautiful, solid piece too. And you can like just grab this thing. You can feel the die cast in there. You get some die cast wheels right here, and they have these screws so you can loosen them and tighten them as you wish. He does roll okay. Some of these little wheels right here, they don't turn at all. But I just absolutely love all the sculpt and paintwork on this guy. I just love all these little bolts sculpted around here. A lot of really nice line work. Love the silver paint right there. A lot of really good looking details on this guy. I'm really digging this train mode a lot. Of course, I did add the Decepticon logos. Then you could remove this. This transforms into the gun, but it does have a little storage port right over there for it. I like how these die-cast pieces came out. I love that gunmetal color. Great looking train mode. And then you got this piece right there in the back. And then underneath, it doesn't look too bad. No crazy little kibbly bits or anything like that. I'm getting a solid look at the very top of it too. It's just a really solid looking piece. Now to measure this train mode, Chigurh's at about 10.5 inches across and just only about 3 inches tall. Then here's Chigurh compared to our G1 Astrotrain, and then here's the Classics Astrotrain right over here. This is more of like a light rail train than an actual locomotive like this one. This is still really cool. A lot of die cast in this. And then here's Chigurh next to the Masterpiece Starscream from Hasbro. Alright, so we got a lot of transforming to do. Will you take us away, Bumblebee? Okay, so the first thing is we're going to remove the gun right here, and there's this back panel piece, which I really like, and that just tabs onto Astrotrain's neck right over there, so that's how that hangs on. And then I like to lift these pieces right here, and then lift this section up, and then these two side sections are going to detach from the rest of the train, so we're going to try to split that from the front, actually. That might be better. And then get that detached right there. We're going to half swing it out because these two portions actually swing out better when you're doing them at the same time. It swung out, and this swung out like that, looking pretty cool. And then we're going to get this slid out, so there's these two sliders, and then these two are going to come and connect like that. And we're going to do this to the other side as well, but I'm just going to show you with one side over here. And then this piece is going to swing all the way around. You get this little canopy section right here. That's going to swing out and then tab in, so it's going to form like that. Take this section and swing it downward first. Connect this coming all the way around. Keep that canopy section together. And make sure this is facing forward so it doesn't get in the way or anything. And then it's going to collapse right there. I know this is very kind of looking a little sloppy, but you know, there you go. You can see how it tabbed together right over there without this big thing in your way. Okay, then there's the nose. Just swing that around. And as you're, as you're transforming this, you can start to figure it out. But, of course, I used the direction the first go around. And then this is going to kind of slide out over here, and then you're going to swing that down, and that's going to connect right over there. So we have one half of the front of the shuttle, and we're going to do the same thing to the other side right over here. We have the train section right there in the middle. We're going to actually move that all the way outward, and then you can see these are going to form the legs as well. Then we're going to get this kind of folded in here like so, and then get these two pieces connected. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different tabs keeping this all in, and that's just going to connect like so. A little tricky, but yeah, there we go. All right, so that's coming together nicely. And then what we're going to do is rotate this whole section around. We're going to do a 180 on this, and then these pieces right here, we're going to rotate those just 90 degrees, and then we're going to bend them inward over here, and they're going to tab into place at the bottom of the shuttle, and you want that tab facing you right there. And then just make sure it's all nice and tight. And then we're going to fold the wings out. So this flap's coming down. This is coming outward over here. And I did apply some Decepticon symbols on those as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece, move that forward, take the head, swing that all the way around. We're going to stick his head right between his legs. So we want to get this hinged twice so it's all the way down in there like that. And then right there, and then take this flap, lift that up, and take this other flap, lift that up. He has his little jet boosters. They're going to swing out. You're going to rotate and then fold back, and then do the same thing on this one. And then just slide this down right here, slide that down over there. And there you can see there's the tab. And take the fin, just move that back, and take this whole piece that has a double hinge and swing that all the way forward, and then get that all tabbed into place. And that's pretty much the shuttle mode right there. A little loose right here in the very front. I don't like that little bit of space. That kind of irritates me, to be honest with you. And then for landing gear, you just take the gun and just turn that wheel down like that, and then you can see these two pieces form that tab, and there's that slot right there. And now we have landing gear for Astrotrain in his shuttle mode. And I really do like how this shuttle mode came out for the most part, but it's just the most finicky of the 3 modes, I think. As long as you get these 2 pieces locked into place, sometimes I have a hard time with those. I'm not a big fan of this gap over here, but it's not major, Maybe I did something wrong. And then this extra piece right here can be used for his flight mode, so you can fold the landing gear back up, and then that just popped off on me. But what you want to do is just, I guess you could fold this right back. Oh, damn it, I just took the wheel off. But you could just take this part down and just plug that in there first, and then we'll try tabbing it into this, and see if I can get him to stay in the air. And hey, it works, so that's pretty cool. Maybe if we turn this around 180, it might look better. Yeah, that looks better like that. Now measuring Astrotrain over here, he's at about 8.5 inches across and only about 5 inches tall. And then here's Chigurh next to the G1 Astrotrain in his shuttle mode, along with the shuttle mode of the Classics Astrotrain. I was always bothered how the G1 version had this kind of wraparound thing over the front, but yeah, I mean, this is definitely looking a little bit more like the cartoon than I think these other two. Alright, you got more work to do, Bumblebee. Take us away into robot mode. Alright, so just like with the train mode, we're going to remove the gun section right there, fold in the landing gear, and then detach this whole back panel over here. And then we can leave these wings out. Of course, we're going to see those while he's in his robot mode. I like to fold this over here for no real particular reason. It just felt like it was an easy thing to do. But I'm trying to detach these side panels right there, and we're going to fold this up. And then these little boosters are going right back to where they came, so we're rotating them around, and then fold them all the way inward and close that up, and do the same thing on the other side. And both of those pieces are going to get folded in and stay right there. And then I just moved the head out a little bit, and then we're going to detach this section from here. Those are going to be the arms, and this is going to be the leg section, so we're splitting that apart and then rotating these purple sections right here are going to be the front portions of the legs, and then you're going to rotate this around so that these tires are going to be facing outward. Then I'm going to slide this down over here, turn that around, face that upwards. We have to open up this panel right here just so we could have this slide around towards the back, and then close that right back up again. And then for the heels on this figure, you actually want to swing this around, and then it's going to be lining upwards right here, and just get it like that. So it kind of gets in the way, but it doesn't look too bad. Okay, so now we have 2 of the legs right there, and then what we can do is take these arm pieces and swing them all the way up, and that's going to swing all the way up. This is actually a pretty complex section, but not too terrible. I like to grab these fists right here. You want to kind of grab this section, move it outward. And this handpiece can be weird because you want to separate it from this bottom section and then rotate that outward and then push it back down. Then rotate the fist around over here. This is going to be the elbow piece, which gets kind of tricky on this section. Now, what I like to do is rotate that, and then you're going to do a 180 on it is what I did, and then rotate this section, then bend that in, and then fold this up, and then that's going to come into place right there. And then you have this piece right here, which is very important. That's going to swing outward, then fold that down. It's going to connect to the chest of the figure. So what you want to do is you want to turn this around and get this facing you, this little rectangular shape facing right at you. You're going to bend this down and then swing it back, and it's going to hinge back like that, and then it's going to rotate inward right here. You get this slot and port right there for this chest section, and that all tabs in right there. And then you can move this arm down, and now you have an arm of Astrotrain. And then we're going to do the same thing to this side. And then the only thing you really have to do now is just take this back portion and plug it in right there. What you can also do is take the panel piece from the locomotive mode and then just plug that in here, and it goes in very nicely, and it fills in that whole gap, and then the neck just goes right down into place. This is going to be the crotch plate, and that folds down, and you want to spin it around 180 degrees, and there we go. And I like to lift these up right here to kind of get out of the way. And then we're going to take the gun, transform that. So from landing gear, we're going to move that forward, move this piece down. This whole section is going to swing all the way around, and then fold that right back up, and then move this piece up, and that's going to be the handle to the gun mode. And then here's Chigurh holding his gun, and this thing is just phenomenal. I love this robot mode. This Astrotrain is amazing. All kinds of sculpted detail on this. I love the die cast that's in here. It makes it a very sturdy robot mode. Now the head sculpt on this piece is just too cool, man. Look at that. I just love how the paint came out on this. Very, very solid. I love the gunmetal paint over the yellow for the crest on top of his head. I really like how the chin came out. It almost looks like he has teeth right there in his mouth. Those little vented sections right there towards his jowls look really good. I like how the helmet was sculpted on this guy. It's just a really good looking piece through and through. This robot mode is quite exceptional. And I'm not going to talk about every single little detail because you can see it. It's just all there, man. It just looks great. Now one minor gripe is that he does have these gaps right here in the forearms, but really not a big deal to me. I'm not really bummed out about it too much. The hands look really good over here. I guess you could say the legs are a little on the skinny side, but really I'm totally fine with it. And these have die cast in them too, so I think that's really good. And the legs look pretty solid, I think, too. I like how this looks. You know, a little bit of gappage here, but not really. I don't know. I'm almost looking for things to complain about just because I like it that much. It's just a dope-looking figure. Oh, yeah, I remember now. There's that little port section right there where you plug in Astrotrain's gun. You can see the little tab right over here. On the right hand, there's like a little bit too much plastic molded in there, so I can't get him holding the gun with his right hand with that little port section. It works fine on the left hand, but I need to take an X-Acto knife and shave out some of that plastic. Now, Chigurh has some great articulation. You can move his head up a very reasonable amount. I like that. His head doesn't really move down though. You get side to side movement over here, and you do get a neck pivot. The arms move outward. You can move them forward right there at the shoulder. He has a double jointed elbow that bends in very far. I really dig that a lot. And then you also get a swivel right here on the second part of the elbow hinge. And then you also get a wrist swivel. It could bend in a little bit just due to the transformation. He does have independent index finger articulation, so you can just move that finger right there. There's also a hinge right there in the middle of the index finger. You have a ball jointed thumb, and then you get clamping action for the rest of the fingers. He does have a very good waist joint, so you just want to move the arms up, and you can swivel side to side right here. He has great hip articulation that moves all the way outward. You can get him kicking forward, back, upper thigh swivel, single jointed knee that meets at 90 degrees, and then awesome ankle articulation that moves side to side. You can move it downward, upward a little bit, and he does have inward ankle pivot. Now Chigurh stands just a little under 10 inches tall, and here's Chigurh once again compared to Classics Astrotrain, and we have G1 Astrotrain over there. One thing you're noticing between these three is that this guy and this guy both have that V-shaped chest plate going on. This one does not have that, and I love it because in the G1 cartoon, he did not have that shape there. Here's Astrotrain compared to the X-Transbots, not Megatron, thanks to Theron for that new Decepticon logo. And then we get the MP11 Starscream over here, and I think the scale is somewhat decent here. It looks like Astrotrain's head is just a little bit on the small side compared to these two, and I think he could have been a little bit higher. You know, the height difference between Grimlock and Optimus Prime, I always felt like that was the height difference between Astrotrain and Megatron. But I could be wrong about that. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Then here's Chigurh next to my Generations Blitzwing figure, and I think they stand in pretty decent scale together. I feel like Blitzwing should maybe be a little bit taller, but really having them side by side like this, I just still think it looks really cool. Then here's Chigurh next to the DX9 Invisible, aka Not Mirage, and then here he is next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. So this guy costs about $150, man, and I think that's one hell of a deal for this guy. It is an incredible figure. DX9 just absolutely killed it with this thing. Very durable plastic, nothing broke on me, nothing felt like it was anywhere near about to break on this. The transformation is fantastic, I think. Easier to transform than the X-Transbot's Apollyon, and that's really saying something because this guy is a triple changer. And for the most part, I really do like all three modes. Just a fantastic piece. I highly recommend it. And I hope you guys liked my video. If you did, please hit the like button. Click one of these buttons over here for more Shart in your face. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And go to tformers.com for the latest in Transformers news and a photo gallery from this review. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
That's crispy.
But I love all the paint.